In Fortnite, age means a lot. It is commonly known that the younger you are, the more time you have, and the more potential you have, even though most players started playing before they were even in high school. They've still been able to stay at the very peak of competitive Fortnite as they've gotten older. That is why, in this video, we are going to be talking about the best players from every age. But first, make sure you guys are subscribed so I can continue making great content like this. We are starting with 14. To my knowledge, there's two professional Fortnite players that are 14, Moneymaker and M. Sherry. M. Sherry is actually a day younger than Moneymaker, but I think the best 14-year-old has to go to Moneymaker. As a 14-year-old, and only being able to play competitive for a year since the age to compete in Fortnite is 13, he's had a lot of accomplishments he's made. 2 FNCS Grand Finals, and in the Last Chance Major, and he ended up placing 6 on EU, qualifying to the 2023 Global Championship. After only playing competitive for 1 year, he's already been able to qualify for the biggest land since World Cup. Made finals for these young players. They've only been able to play competitive for about 1 year, 1 to 2 years. So we don't have as many tournaments to talk about, but even after saying that, for 15, we have a long list of accomplishments. Professional Fortnite players that are 15, old is Shalom and Alex. But I think I'm going to have to give it to Alex. For this one, even though Alex has only been playing epic events for 2 years, he's been competing in them at the highest level for much longer than Alex. He made his first earnings of in July of 2019 when he was just 11 years old. Eventually people found out his real age and got him banned, until he turned 13. And in his first FNCS after getting unbanned, he came 3rd in Grand Finals. Since he's gotten unbanned, he's won 2 FNCSs and came top 3 in 5 other Grand Finals. He also made the Grand Finals of the Global Championship, which is the biggest tournament since World Cup. Next up, we have 16. Even at 16, they have tons of accomplishments that most players don't even have. We have the Global Championship winner Cooper, and we have the FNCS winner Cold. But lastly, we have my pick for the best player at 16, we have Peterbot. Thousands of cheating accusations, Peterbot still hasn't slowed down. He came 8th in first Grand Finals during the All-Stars. He also came 4th in Grand Royale, which was the last tournament of Chapter 2. But in Chapter 3, he really started showing why he deserved to be on this list over Cooper, or Cold. In Chapter 3, Season 2, Peterbot won his first FNCS at the age of 14. Since then, he's been the most dominant player the game has ever seen, even qualifying to the Global Championships Finals for 17 when he plays late. For 17, we have players like Rion and Reed, but I think I'm going to have to pick Yamza. At 14 years old, Yamza won the UEFA Cup before he even made his first Grand Final since then. He's come to top 4 in 3 different Grand Finals and came to 8th in the Global Championship with Rise. I think Yamza and Rise has been the most dominant duo on NA. Even FNCS, when the best players split with their duo, Yamza and Rise always stick together, and you can always expect to see them in the top 5 at 18 years old. You are legally considered to be an adult at 18. These players have accomplished much more than the average adult. These players like Moose, Cammy, Clicks, but I think I'm going to have to give this to Malbuka. Malbuka was already considered an up-and-coming GOAT. At just the age of 16 for all those trios in Chapter 2, he was stuck in an off-spawn griefing fest with Adretta Savage and Benji Fishy. But in Chapter 3, when Benji quit and Mr. Savage and Andrea started falling off, started showing why he considered an up-and-coming GOAT. In Chapter 3, Malabuka came to top 4 in every Grand Finals. In Chapter 4, he came 2nd and 3rd in the first 2 FNCSs. He also qualified Global Championship Finals with Thomas HD. For 19 years old, we have a combined 16 FNCS championships. We have players like Vino, Miro, Mr. Savage, and Janus. But I think I'm going to have to go with Tayson. Tayson is the most accomplished Fortnite player of all time, and probably the most accomplished 19-year-old ever by the time he turned 16. He was already a 2-time FNCS champion. And 2 weeks after his 17th birthday, he won the solo All-Stars, making him a 3-time FNCS champion. And by the end of the year, he won the biggest online tournament in Fortnite history, the Grand Royale, making him a 4-time FNCS champion. In Chapter 3, he came third and second in the first two FNCSs, and in Chapter 4, he won another FNCS, making him a 5-time FNCS champion. And the next season, he also came second, and he also qualified for the finals of the Global Championship with Mustache. For 20 years old, I think the answer is clear here. We have players like Okus and Edgy, but I think it's Sadi. Sadi made his first grand finals when he was 17 years old, and 1 year later, he won his first FNCS. He also came second in Grand Royale. In Chapter 3, he came fifth and second in the FNCS as the chapter. He also won Dream Hack Summer 2022. And he came third in Gamers 8 2022. And later on, by the end of the year, he also won FNCS Invitational in Chapter 4. He came fourth and fifth in the first two FNCSs, and then he came second in the 2023 Global Championship. He was almost the first person to win back-to-back lands, but unfortunately, he came second in the Global Championship. But someone who actually did win back-to-back lands was Cooper. So if you guys want a video on that, let me know in the comments. Next up, we have 21. And at 21, you're legally allowed to drink in the US. But these guys have a lot more in their mind than just drinking. We have players like Epic Whale, Queasy Rise, and Booga. But I think the answer is clear. I think the best 21-year-old Fortnite pro is Thomas HD. At 17 years old, Thomas HD came 6th in the last week of Duo World Qualifiers, qualifying him to the World Cup. He ended up placing 21st in the Duo World Cup finals with Klusha. He came 9th in the first ever FNCS and in Solo Invitational. Placed 4th in the first Trios FNCS of Chapter 2. He came 3rd, and in the next season after that, he came 2nd, auto-qualifying to the next Grand Finals, and in the next Grand Finals, he ended up placing 4th in Solos All-Stars. He ended up placing in 9th in the last FNCS before Grand Royale. He came 8th with Queasy. And Honest. In Grand Royale, he came 3rd and was easily the MVP of the event. I went back and watched EU Grand Royale a couple nights ago, and he was easily the best player there was, pulling off solo clutches like nobody else was during Game 12. He won V3 to Trio, win the game, and then overall boosted him up to 3rd place in Grand Royale. In Chapter 3, he came 3rd in the first two FNCSs, and in the season he came 6th at the 2022 Invitational. He came 4th with Tripper, and in Chapter 4, he came 2nd and 3rd in the first two FNCSs of Chapter. He also qualified for the finals of the Global Championship with Thomas HD. Is easily the best player of all time to win any FNCS. He's the most consistent Grand Finals player ever, and to do it on the hardest region is insane. I believe he's going to be able to call himself an FNCS champion very soon. For 22 years old, we have Fortnite icon model and Twitch streamer Blake PS. But I think the best 22-year-old has to go to Scented. Scented came 3rd in the first FNCS Grand Finals on NA West, and in Chapter 2, Season 2, Scented and Edgy moved to East for better competition and bigger prize pool in the first Trios FNCS of Chapter 2. Scented and Edgy Commandment came 2nd, and for the next 4 seasons straight, they came 2nd in FNCS Grand Finals, moving to a harder region for better competition, and then coming 2nd in Grand Finals 5 seasons in a row. Is something only a GOAT would do for the last FNCS before Grand Royale. Scented Commandment dropped Edgy for Stretched, and then they came 4th also in Grand Royale. They came 6th in Chapter 3, Scented, and Cold came 5th and 2nd in the first two FNCSs of the chapter. They also came 3rd in the 2022 FNCS Invitational in the Last Chance Major. Scented and Polarized came 2nd, qualifying to the Global Championship. To my knowledge, there's only one pro player that is a 23-year-old, and that is Clarity. Clarity won Week 7 of World Cup solo qualifiers. On NA East qualifying to World Cup solos, and in Chapter 2 Season 4 Grand Finals he came 9th with Niddle and Mikey. In Chapter 2 Season 3, Clarity came 13th in Grand Finals with Rogue Shark and Naughty. They stuck together for the last FNCF before Grand Royale, and they came 10th. Clarity's best placement since World Cup came during Grand Royale, where he came 7th in Grand Finals with Niddle and Casker. In Chapter 3, Clarity came top 20 in all of the Grand Finals. And in Chapter 4, he placed top 15 in the first two FNCSs and the Last Chance Major Clarity plays. 15th with Trashy, and he hasn't played an event since now for 24. This is where we start to get really old. Like, how do these players even still get at the top level after playing for all these years? And the best 24-year-old is Macwood. Macwood came 4th in the last week of World Cup qualifiers, qualifying for the World Cup. In World Cup duos, he came 16th with Young Calculator, and in the first FNCS, Macwood came first, winning $300,000. And in the next season, he placed second during squads. FNCS in the first trio FNCS of Chapter 2. Macwood placed 7th in the next season. He placed 3rd auto-qualifying to Grand Finals, where he placed 7th in the last Grand Finals before Grand Royale. Macwood placed 11th with Bucky and Peterbot, and in Grand Royale they ended up placing 4th. Since then, he has not placed top 15 in Grand Finals, but still plays competitive consistently. Makes all the Grand Finals for 25-year-olds. For 25-year-olds, I think the best player is Bizzle. When he was just 20 years old, he placed second in 5 different skirmish weeks. He also won the secret skirmish, winning $60,000. He came 4th in Cabot solos and duos, winning $42,000. He came 3rd in the first week of Solo World Cup qualifiers. Qualifying to the Solo World Cup finals, he placed 3rd in Squad Grand Finals and in Solo Invitational Grand Finals. He came 12th in the first trio FNCS in 2nd place in the 14th with Clicks and Ilst. And in the next season, he placed 5th with Clicks and Buga. Since then, Bizzle hasn't placed well in Grand Finals, but consistently makes them. Bizzle will go down as one of the pillars of Fortnite, and without him, I don't think the competitive scene would be where it is today. And for the last player of this video, we have 28 years old, and I think the best player is Psalms. Psalm plays 2nd in week 3 of the Fall Skirmers. He also came 5th in the 3rd week of World Cup solos. Qualifying him to the World Cup, and in the World Cup solos, he placed 2nd, earning $1.8 million in the first FNCS Grand Finals. He placed 15th with Ghost, Psalm, and Ghost Aiden in the second FNCS Grand Finals. He placed 11th with Squad. After Squad, FNCS Psalm quit, but it is easily one of the smartest players the game has ever seen. He created the baller strategy, which many people use to get hundreds and thousands of dollars in the World Cup. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you comment any video ideas you guys want me to see. Make sure you guys like and subscribe it. It would really mean a lot to me. Until next time, see you guys later.